Hi guys, welcome to Life Skills. Today we're going to learn about the importance of hydration. So I'm calling today Hello Hydration. Miss Marie, I see that you are at the garden.
Oh yeah.
Let's start off with you and what you think is important about hydration, not only for you, but the garden.
Garden needs water.
Does it? Because it's been raining.
What about us? Do we need water just as much as plants do?
Sure.
If not
You
more.
gotta drink 8 glasses of water.
8 glasses a day? That's what you have to do?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the basic guideline. It's kind of like, you know, they changed the food pyramid. They've also changed how much water you're supposed to get. Yes, dear.
Some gas.
Yes, you can have some Miss Hydration.
Well, one trick that I've used is I fill this pitcher at the beginning of every day, and it's a gallon pitcher, and I fill it with water from my water filter.
You down to this much now?
Oh wow.
No, this is full.
Oh, okay. It looked like you had just like an inch or two in the, it's the way the pitcher is, because it's like frosted from about this far up.
Yeah, it's pretty full. So
I was gonna say, wow, John, good job.
Is that what garlic looks like?
So
What's that, Marie?
Oh wow, there's garlic coming up.
Oh, nice.
I
I didn't know we had garlic in our planters.
didn't think we did, but that's pretty
I
cool.
think it's garlic or onion. I don't know.
We have onions.
We have onions.
A bunch of onions. Which you get hydration from onions too, and spinach and watermelon. And did you guys know that like 80% of the makeup of both spinach and watermelon is water, like their weight?
I did know that, yeah.
So you get an awful lot of hydration from that.
Not about spinach. I knew it about watermelon, but that's interesting about spinach.
Well, spinach
That tomatoes get big.
greens are very water-based.
Yeah.
What's that, Sarah Grace?
See that onion?
Glasses is a half
onion.
Yep. So John, per his doctor, drinks a gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big guy. I saw though, after that whole experience of getting dehydrated and getting a blood clot, I saw on television this guy walk onto the stage with like a giant gallon water bottle that had like, you're almost there, you're getting there, to have like quotes along the side that were giving him a pep talk, and the person was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, I gotta start drinking a gallon a day, so I take this with me everywhere to make sure that I'm doing it. So I don't know if that's like a metric for most men, or I don't know, but
so actually, the way that they say it now, that's what I was starting to say about the food pyramid, is that
Wow, that's what cauliflower is.
have learned more about our body makeups and how, cool, Marie.
Yeah.
They've learned more about how our bodies are made up, and what exactly it takes to get us to function fully. And so there's two different ways to look at it at this point. For men, the average Joe Schmo who isn't 6'7" is 15.6 cups a day, and an average of 20% of your food is water-based, or provides your water for the day. So 3.1 cups of that comes from your food. So that brings you down to 12.4 cups of water, which would be.
So I put a rock here. Nice.
For women, the average woman, I should say, they are saying 11.5 cups a day. So you would get 2.3 cups of water from your food, they figure. So that would bring you down to 9.2 cups of water that you need to try and make sure you're drinking. Could be water or milk or, Kavita, which is what I'm sipping on at the moment. I do love my probiotic drinks.
Yeah.
But the other way that they're looking at it, which is a much more accurate way of looking at it, is you're supposed to take your weight in pounds and divide it in 2. And then divide that number by 8, and you get the number.
Onion.
So if you divide it by 2, that's the number of ounces that you need. If you divide it by 8, because there's 8 ounces in a cup, that's how many cups a day you would get. So Seiji, let me do the math out real quick, weighs 47 pounds. So you divide that by 2 and you get 23 and a half. Walk down, babe.
And what is that, ounces?
That is ounces, yes. So then you divide the 23 and a half by 8 and you get just under 6 cups.
Okay, so half your, okay, can we do me? Can you do me next?
What's that?
Can you do me next? I'm not shy about my weight, so.
Okay. So I'm gonna, because I ran out of room on my scratch pad. I'm gonna get out my calculator because I'm a cheater. Teachers always said you won't have a calculator in your pocket.
Liars.
All right. So where are you weighing in at this point, sir?
516.
All right. Is it 516 even?
0.8.
0.8. Okay. So divide that by 2 and you get 2. Oh, come on. I hit the wrong button because my thumb's too fat today. You get 258.4 ounces in the day. So you divide that by 8 to get the number of cups, and that's 32.3. Yes, honey.
I type on your
Other one once you're done eating, yes.
And how many cups are in a gallon?
I was gonna tell you, and now my brain went blank. Hang on. How many cups in a gallon? 16. So divided that by 16 and you get 2.01875. So 2 gallons a day.
Well, that's impossible. I'd be drowning myself.
Well, so you get some of that from your food, but that's somebody who has a moderately active lifestyle too.
Yeah.
Or so that I'll move on from this and then come back. Let's do that way. It totally segues into one of the other things I wanted to hit.
I'm a special case. I get it.
You really are, John. You really are.
God broke the mold with me.
So let's start with your water makes up 50 to 70% of your body weight.
That is true.
So that's why when you take your weight and divide it by 2, that's your 50% right there. You got to replenish that every day because water helps flush the toxins out of your system, but you can have too much water. If you have too much water, usually like people who run like super marathons will totally like drink. And it makes it so that your kidneys aren't able to fully flush out everything properly.
It also leaches out your electrolytes.
Yes, you end up lowering your sodium level.
Yeah.
But so it helps flush out toxins and waste, which we know urine and poop both have water in them. It helps keep your temperature regulated, which I did not realize until I did my research. Yep. I mean, it makes sense because
we have a boiling.
Hot, right. When you get too hot, though, you sweat. So you're expelling some of your moisture. And the reason that your body does that is because when you have moisture on your skin and it hits the air, it cools down, which cools your body down from the outside in.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout, just take a breather and sweat it out.
Pretty much. But so water also helps lubricate and cushion your joints. Ooh. Which makes a lot of sense because I am chronically dehydrated and my knees are starting to really feel it. I mean, weight obviously has something to do with that too, but cushioning your joints is very, very, very important. Especially the older you get, you end up losing a lot of the cushion in your joints, along with like the collagen in your skin, which is what makes your skin bounce back, the elasticity. Why you get like the little turkey waddle thing going on.
Oh man, I never want that as an old man. That would be so bad.
It happens to all of us.
I know. It's
sagging, Your collagen depletes, the fat storage under your skin depletes, which, I mean, that weight loss is great, but
Yeah,
for
I'll take that.
people.
Yeah.
But the water also helps protect sensitive tissue, such as your eyeballs. Your eyeballs, your mucous membranes, your tongue, all very water based. You've got saliva glands. That's another thing. It helps you produce saliva, which the saliva helps clean your teeth. It helps fight bacteria. It helps with digestion. It's
Helps you
actually
swallow.
it's one of the first parts of your digestive system, because as you're chewing your food up into smaller pieces, the saliva is mixing with it and making it into more of like a liquidy substance, which when you swallow, then, you know, the rest of your digestive system kicks in, and with the extra saliva, it's able to break down everything a bit better because the saliva's already started that process.
What's that, Kyoki? No, I lost my appetite. No, I don't need lunch.
Oh, darling, I could get much more in depth with it. But so one of the other things that water is amazing for is it actually gives you energy. Well, sort of. It helps you reach the energy level that you should be hitting without caffeine and such, because when you're dehydrated, one of the first signs of dehydration is lethargy or fatigue.
Yeah.
You feel sleepy. So
I'm sleepy right now.
What's that, Marie?
I said I'm sleepy right now.
Well, take a drink.
Yeah. Get yourself some water, quick.
Get yourself some water.
But I mean, that also has to do with how much sleep you get at night, and you know what your routine is, whether you have a good sleep schedule, whether you got up early. And today is a cloudy, stormy day, and it's been proven that the sun helps wake you up.
Yeah.
That bright yellow warmth helps like perk your brain up and be like, oh, time to move. But so, does anyone know what some basic signs of dehydration are besides being tired?
I know from
Sarah M.
Weakness maybe,
Yeah.
or if you feel weak or dizzy, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, lightheadedness is definitely one of them. Like you just feel like you can't stand up.
So, of slight dehydration, you're going to see slightly darker urine. You're going to be thirsty. You know, have a dry mouth. It's, you know, lower energy. Start peeing less, and maybe your skin feels a little bit dry, like, oh, you know, maybe I need some chapstick, some lotion. When you hit severe dehydration, however, you get into the area where you get a rapid heart rate, you get muscle cramps, you feel faint or dizzy.
High blood pressure, I think.
So the high blood pressure is more of a high sodium level than a low hydration level.
Well, if you're that,
so you would actually get low blood pressure.
Low blood pressure, right? Because your sodium level is
lower. But that's if you have a normal pressure rate anyway.
Yeah.
Some of us just feel better.
So I've also heard that, like, you know, if your urine is very orange or yellow, and in that color, that means that you need to take a drink, because it should not be that color. It should be
your urine should be like clear or very light yellow.
Very light yellow or clear.
Really have much of a smell to it either.
Right.
That's the ammonia smell is a good way to indicate either dehydration or an infection.
Yeah.
But when your skin starts getting like really, really dehydrated, when you're younger, if you go like this and your skin doesn't immediately pop back, that's a sign of dehydration. Like
I actually had a doctor do something where, let me see if I can get the camera right. They would press down.
Yep.
And you see that white mark and it goes away quickly because the blood's filling back up and everything. If it stays white and compressed looking, like that's not good. If it fills back to the normal color, then you're good. You know?
Yep. Yep.
So they were able to find out how dehydrated I was just by pressing down on the top of my head. Yeah.
There's a lot of simple, easy ways to figure out if you're dehydrated.
The doctor did that and was like, okay, we need to get an ambulance. He's severely dehydrated.
Yeah. Another way to tell, it's not a surefire way because there could be other reasons for all of this, honestly, but constipation. If you're constipated, start drinking more water. Obviously, cut back on your dairy, eat more fiber and whatnot, but
Right.
water is huge when it comes to that.
Yeah.
More coffee is good.
Yeah, coffee is bad, actually, because caffeine is a diuretic. And so coffee is counterproductive when you're trying to hydrate, honestly, because it takes more out of you than it's putting in.
Also, fun fact, soda makes you thirsty. It actually makes you more thirsty. It doesn't actually quench your thirst. It makes you more
thirsty. It has a high sodium count.
Soda.
Yeah. So it's kind of a brilliant marketing tool. Be like, they'll drink it and then they'll want to drink another one.
Yeah.
But so another way to tell if you're severely dehydrated is a headache.
Oh yeah.
So that's why whenever I'm starting to feel off, like anything, it's like, I'm just sluggish, or I have a little bit of a headache, or, anything, I have some water, give it like 15 minutes because it doesn't take long. Your body's like, ooh, water.
Yeah.
But,
All
that's the first defense, honestly. Have some water.
Cold out here.
And they trick you when you take Tylenol. They say drink a glass of water with it. Is it the Tylenol fixing you, or is it the water?
Or is it the water? That's a good point.
But there's a lot of ways that you could lose your hydration just throughout the day on a normal, low-key, chilling in your chair, yawning at me kind of day.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Yeah. So, your breath, whenever you breathe, you're exhaling, sorry, a little bit of moisture, whether it's through your nose or through your mouth. It tends to be more through your mouth because when you open your mouth, you're creating more saliva, and a little bit more of that gets out when you're talking too. I'm dehydrating myself as we talk. Sweat, that's another huge one. Peeing, pooping, crying. We all know crying sucks, and you feel the tears coming down.
If you get sick and get diarrhea and are vomiting and stuff like that can, you can have a regular kind of flu or virus go from bad to much worse and end up in the hospital for dehydration.
Yep. You're getting just barely ahead of me again, John. That's the next thing on my list. To talk about is causes of dehydration.
Yeah.
So health is a huge one. Fever, vomiting, diarrhea, bladder infections, or really any infection, urinary tract stones, diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2, especially if it's not controlled, and diuretics. I happen to know a certain someone with a lot of those health factors. But environment too. Not only when it's hot, it's humid.
Who's that? It's me. Silly.
But here's another thing that I learned that I had no clue. High altitudes also affect how much you're putting out as far as your hydration goes.
Is it the higher the altitude, the less hydrated you are? Or?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't able to find an answer as to why. I did spend about 15 minutes searching down just that answer.
Yeah, that's interesting.
If I figure it out, I'll let you guys know, because that one really made me go, wow. So the people that live out in Denver and whatnot in the Rockies, they've got more water.
Yeah, they got to drink more.
It's funny how altitude can affect stuff, because when you're baking a loaf of bread, if you're at a high altitude, it doesn't rise as well.
Maybe it's because there's less moisture in the air when you're at a higher altitude.
Maybe.
So I don't know, that air moisture contributes to us. I don't know.
But then there's also the obvious things that can dehydrate you. Exercise, for example, because when you're exercising, you're moving, you're sweating, you're burning calories, and part of burning the calories burns the fat, which sends it through your kidneys, which then makes you need to pee. And, you know, it's this ongoing process. So that's why when you exercise, you really need to drink before, during, and after. They say at least take one big sip or gulp every 20 minutes when you're working out.
Yeah.
I'm bouncing around on my notes trying to so the other thing is that what I was telling you about the how much water to drink, that's if you live in a temperate climate.
Sprinklers. Do sprinklers go on in the evening?
I
What?
don't know. Do you know, John, if
Oh,
sprinklers
yeah.
are on there?
If what is going on?
Sprinklers at the grocery?
Oh, I don't know if they do. I don't think there are any, because there'd probably be neighbors who'd be like, I got ambushed on my evening walk. I was
Well, it's the garden, so I mean.
yeah.
Oh, you water in the evening?
So I tend to water in the evening only because that's when things are kind of winding down at my house.
It's
And the
usually
sun goes down.
Right, it's cool.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And you shouldn't water in the middle of the day because you can burn your plants.
Oh, yes.
So another thing that I have learned is if you take a shower, back to our hydration, if you take a shower, especially if it's a hot shower, you don't realize it, but you are sweating and you will need to replace your water, because as much as your body sucks up water that you're in or around, it puts out a lot when you're hot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm not good in summertime. That's why I live up here in the north, but apparently I'm gonna have to retreat further north, like maybe get like an Arctic dwelling, in the Northern Territories of Canada or something.
And so, John, who's your neighbor? Oh, Santa?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is my summer home up here in the North Pole. Yeah, no, I think also
So you and Dennis should go walk over here and water.
Also, there's health benefits to ending a shower on cold. I know it's hard to withstand. You're like, oh, geez, but it releases it actually releases serotonin, which we learned about in that science class I taught, guys. Which serotonin will make you feel awake and energized and a happy mood. So,
and it closes your pores too. That's something else to consider.
Yeah.
It lets toxins into your skin more, and then you end up having to drink more because you're going to flush more toxins out. And if you close your pores up, it reduces acne, which that's another thing with staying hydrated. Reduces your acne.
Yeah.
It keeps the dirt and whatnot out of your skin so you don't get the blackheads, and it reduces the oil production. Because if you're dry, your body naturally will become more oily to counteract that. What, honey?
I want some more chips.
She wants Pirate's booty.
So that is a case right there. You need to drink more and eat less salt, my dear.
It's addictive, I know, Sage.
Is that why you didn't like your steak? Because it wasn't salted?
Taste salt.
Well, because you didn't salt it. That's why you didn't taste salt on it. Mommy didn't cook it in salt. But so there's a lot of okay. There's a lot of little things that you can do throughout your day to help yourself either stay hydrated or get rehydrated. Lotions, chapsticks, water, lower your salt intake. That's a huge health benefit, not only for staying hydrated, but for your blood pressure, especially if it's a high blood pressure.
My mom said she has food that's too salty. Like her wedding ring feels like her finger has swollen,
And you know why that is because when you have a lot of salt in your body, you need more water to kind of soak it up.
Yeah.
And you end up weighing in higher. You end up not peeing as much, because your body's got to get that water, counteract the salt, because otherwise you end up completely off kilter.
Yeah.
You don't have to have just water. You can have, milk, Kavita, Like,
Tea.
so decaf is better than caffeinated because the caffeine is a diuretic.
Right.
But if you don't like plain water, you can do infused waters, which we did a class a couple years ago on different flavored infused waters.
Watermelon and strawberry in one, and just kind of shake it around until it's watermelon strawberry.
Or like a blueberry cucumber or mint. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you can get along the way that are really good for you.
Yoki's developing a habit for smart water. He likes the cucumber lime smart water. It's like a very subtle taste.
That's one that you, John, shouldn't drink because of
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't have anything with electrolytes.
You gotta really go with the pure stuff. What, honey?
I have pie smoothie.
In a minute. Why don't you come over here? She's like,
I have pirate's booty.
can I have another?
Oh,
Please, sir?
no, you have a sagey booty.
So, Seiji, what are some of your favorite drinks?
Pie smoothie.
Pirate's booty is chips. How about
Put it in a blender, mommy.
what else do you like to drink?
Magic.
What drinks?
Kiwi, apple juice, kiwi. What?
Infused water.
Water.
Yeah.
Infused water.
Yes. Or confused water, as Sarah Grace calls it.
Right?
Oh, there's a pretty butterfly on the flower outside.
That's what I find butterfly.
Nice.
So, Sarah M., what are some of your favorite drinks?
I like fruit smoothies, like anything
Perfect.
like berries and bananas, or yeah.
Nice.
There's a lot of people that get into like the juicer craze, and I just haven't gotten into it. Like, it's expensive for one. If you want to get a good juicer, it's like $100, and they're just throwing kale and carrots and apples into it, and they're like, "Oh, look at this juice I got," you know. But I don't know. Like, everybody has a different opinion on whether it works. As some people use it like religiously as a diet, you know. But
So it goes through your body quicker because it doesn't have the more solid aspects, but you do end up losing some of the nutrients when you do that.
right, you know,
That was weird. You like your voice didn't show up there for a minute. What were you saying?
a lot of the nutrients are in the rind, right?
So, I mean, a lot of foods, yeah, like a potato, you're not supposed to take the skin off. A lot of the nutrients on the outside.
Yeah, it's all on the outside, all the potassium. Yeah.
And there's a lot of other things, like I was saying with spinach, that's really high in water, but like all of your leafy greens, dandelion greens, fiddlehead ferns, kale, all that stuff, you want all of those nutrients. Excuse me. And if you juice it, you're getting mostly just the water aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's great. And if you're gonna want something that's got some flavor and some more nutrients, that's a good way to go. But honestly, just infused water. That's my recommendation as far as that goes. Or something like a Kavita, because
what is Kavita?
Water kefir culture, which is water, lactic acid, kefir culture, natural flavor, which is usually lemon juice. Cane sugar, which if you get the pure cane sugar, it's not as bad for you as like other stuff, but
high fructose corn syrup is really bad for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't taste it, and I have a really sensitive palate, but there's apple cider vinegar in this one. And this one is a lemon ginger. So it's got ginger extract, basilicus, coagulans, CBI 30, 60, 86, which sounds awful, but it's just bacteria that's in it. It's a good bacteria. Big concentrate, lactic acid, lemon extract, fruit and vegetable juice for color. So, I mean, as far as drinks go, it's pretty good. It's fermented, water kefir culture, non-dairy, gluten-free, caffeine-free.
Wowza.
It's one of the things that if you're doing the shape diet, for instance, you can have that as like your special drink. And it's got the fizz, so it's like, kind of like can trick your brain into thinking that you're having a soda. But
I
it's-
honestly don't. I don't drink soda. I don't drink juice. I used to love juice, but then I realized it's all just sugar, you know.
yeah, lots of empty calories.
And all that sugar and all that empty calories like converts to fat if you're not as active, and I'm not as active. So I'm like, why would I want to store all that sugar that turns to fat? And so yeah, I'm just kind of a water guy, you know. And on
Which is
occasion,
fun.
like I have milk that
Water
I'll
and calories.
put in cereal, but I don't drink a glass of milk really.
What
I mean,
about
unless
your Powerade, Marie? So
Like,
with
you want-
Powerade,
there's a lot of artificial, you know, colors and
Yep.
sugars, and
Yep.
so it likes to promote itself as being healthy for like people who are fit, but yeah, it's tricky.
It's high sugar, and the red dye especially, there's a lot of people that have adverse reactions to that.
The red dye. Yeah, I've heard that red dye is not good. Like there's been children who've had bad side effects.
Yep. There's a lot of people with autism that have really bad side effects when it comes to that too.
Yeah.
Not trying to poo-poo all your choices, Marie, I promise.
I mean, if it's any consolation, Marie, it's probably healthier than like, you know,
A soda.
a soda. So
Because one 12-ounce can of like, let's say Pepsi has 8 ounces, a full cup of sugar in it.
good God.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So 3/4 of its makeup is sugar.
Yep.
That's insane.
Sugar is addictive, and so it tricks your brain into thinking that you need more sugar. And that's why when you're eating candy regularly, your brain's like, oh, I really want some, ice cream or, some sort of other sugary something.
And then you go on a bender.
Exactly. And it's just this horrible cycle. And
You wake up in bed with wrappers around you going, what did I do?
and the Sarah wanted to show off Coke.
Nice. This is brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Right. So this one can of Coke, which is 7.5 ounces. It starts with carbonated water, but then the next ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, caramel color, phosphoric acid, natural flavors, and caffeine. There's so much caffeine in it that it actually lists it on the,
As an ingredient,
yeah.
like it's added caffeine. That's crazy.
Yeah. So then Sarah also brought up a ruby red grapefruit polar seltzer.
That's what I drank.
Which is one of her favorite drinks. Yep.
That sounds much better.
Contains carbonated water and natural flavors.
That's it. That's the ingredient. That's awesome. The less ingredients that an item has, the more good it is for you.
And you should really be able to pronounce what the ingredients are. That is a huge key component.
Yeah, if it's like it contains monophenolitic, blah 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 blah, you're just like, what?
Right. Yeah. So it can be a lot, honestly.
It's hard. I wish that our Food and Drug Administration, took a harder line on products like this. Like in Europe, they're half the stuff we have in the US would never be allowed to be sold in Europe because they have such amazing health standards. They're like, that ingredient is illegal, it's killing people. That one's illegal. Like they've just cut out a bunch to the point where I think Nabisco had to make a separate cracker for Europe.
Oh yeah, there's tons of different.
And it was more expensive, so they were like, "Oh, we won't sell this better, healthier cracker in Europe because, from Europe in the U.S. because it would be more money and people want it cheap."
Right.
It's like, what? So you're gonna kill people because it's cheaper?
Right. Well, and that's like bread. Europeans don't like American bread because American bread is chock full of sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're like me and try and make it from scratch. My grandmother taught me how to make bread, and all we put in it was flour, yeast, water, and wow, it's been so long since I've made it. I want to say baking powder.
Yeah,
Can't
that makes sense.
remember. A very, very little bit of it though.
Like a teaspoon,
Not even like an eighth.
eighth of a teaspoon. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you already have the yeast in it as the leaven.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean,
Yeah, I remember when we had our YALI students over, the Young African Leadership Initiative, when they would come to Spark. I asked them one time as we were playing music, like, what do you guys think about American food? And they all just kind of looked at each other, and I was like, come on, be honest. And they're like, you Americans like your sweets. And I was like, yeah, it's a problem.
We don't even realize it because that's what's offered to us. That's what's convenient. And unfortunately, that's what's cheaper too.
Yeah, that needs to change.
So, I mean, that's why I got very into eating like homegrown stuff. Like I have my own herb garden out back. I have, you know, there are flowers that I eat, like hibiscus. Hibiscus is totally edible. Dandelion, for the most part, is completely edible.
When is your book coming out, Mary? The Natural Life by Mary.
When we finally get that cookbook together that you and I have been discussing.
We'll write the forward.
But I mean, aloe is another one that it's edible.
Really?
Yeah, they sell aloe juice in the
I guess I always saw it as like a skin applicating cream, or
Yep.
never
But
thought of it edible, thing.
think about it. When you break off one of the aloe leaves or fronds or whatever you want to call them, I don't know, the pokey spiky things.
Yeah.
It's very water filled.
Yeah.
All succulents are.
Well, yeah, I guess if they're a diet for animals in the desert or whatever, then that's probably what they eat, right? They're probably running around going, oh, cactus, ooh, aloe plant. Did we lose Mary?
I think so.
Huh. Mary, she's still on here. And it doesn't say that she's muted. Are you experiencing technical difficulty? Hmm. I'm going to steal host just in case this is like her computer shutting down. So what do you guys think? What are some ways that you try to stay hydrated? Is it something that you focus on in your day-to-day life?
Not enough, probably.
Not enough.
Me.
I have, because I ended up in the hospital multiple times for dehydration, I actually have my iPad set up with an alarm to like let me know every hour on the hour. Drink. Hey, there's Mary.
This work laptop does not like me.
I stole host because I was like, this could be like a precursor for being dropped or something. So
Yes.
I decided to take over and ask everybody if they take an active interest in their hydration and how they can, take more of an active step in doing that.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you and I share the same brain.
That was your next objective. Huh?
It was.
Yeah, Sarah said that she doesn't think about it as much as she probably should. And I told them that I have an app. Well, there's lots of apps out there, actually. I don't have one.
There's an app for everything.
There's tons of apps for hydration, but instead I thought it'd just be better for an alarm to go off every hour. That's like, oh, it's 10 o'clock, take a drink. Oh, it's 11 o'clock, take a drink. So I know every hour on the hour that an hour's gone by, and I also know it's time to take a drink.
Yeah. And there are a lot of little tips and tricks. Like if you've got your beverage in your workspace, you're much more likely to keep drinking because it's a constant reminder. Like if you're klutzy like me and you keep bumping your hand into it, you're like, oh, right, drink. And so I'll pause, take a sip, go back to work.
Or like me, I bought this leash. I have a leash and I keep it like a millstone around my neck. I can never forget it.
It's your secret little extra weight that you add to yourself when you're walking around.
I know. That explains some of that back pain.
Yeah, right. Because water is pretty heavy.
It can be, yeah. Yeah.
But so, Marie, what do you, or do you plan to do anything different, or what do you do to stay hydrated?
Drink water.
Do you have any little tips to help you remind yourself?
Nope.
No, you just do it.
He's like, I'm amazing. I remember on my own.
Yeah.
Unlike you. Unlike you,
You mere mortals.
mere mortals. Yeah.
But how about you, Kyoki? Are there any things that you do to kind of remind yourself to stay hydrated?
Kyoki. He's on. He's got his ear popped. I think he's been ghosting me and listening to a podcast. Yeah, he's listening to a podcast. I don't want to disturb him.
Oh, okay.
Look, he's in the zone.
Well, that's all I have for today. I don't want to bore you too much more and go into more detail about how you can just totally dehydrate yourself. But I do want to remind you, drink up. Drink.
Especially the heat, like the heat wave that we had, like definitely be guzzling water during the heat wave.
Today is really humid too.
Humidity
it doesn't feel like a high hydration day, but it is.
Speaking of which, Mary, you've been sweating a little during the call and I haven't seen you take a drink. So
because you haven't been looking.
I'm
halfway down my Kavita.
Got her Kavita half down. All right, good. And you, Miss Marie, you were in the garden.
Marie's been good. I've been seeing her sip out of her drinks.
Good.
Sarah, however, is off camera, so I have no idea.
Sarah took her camera off probably for a reason. She's hiding from our judgment.
All right. Well, tonight we're going to be doing meditation, and per request, it's going to be anti-anxiety, because that seems to be what everyone's having trouble with this week.
Yeah.
Or extra trouble with this week, I should say, because we all seem to be really feeling it lately.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Sarah Grace is going to be teaching painting fireworks. So make sure you've got your paper towel rolls, toilet paper rolls, paintbrush, water.
Definitely making it to that class. That sounds like.
Yeah, she has fun with that too. She's pretty good at it.
Sparky in the middle.
There you go. So what you should do with that is do fireworks and then do Sparky in the middle after.
I made a picture once of Sparky lighting a firework with his head. Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
But so then tomorrow evening we've got story fellowship with Dennis.
Yep.
Then Friday, oh hi Mittens. Friday, John's going to be teaching science class all about water cycles. And then Friday night is bingo at Riverside Park. I hope everybody has a great day.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Yeah. Art in the garden.
Great that you're at the garden, Marie. That's awesome.
Yes, don't forget the garden is going to be 9 to noon tomorrow. Maya and Emma will be there. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. See ya.